This is the easy 5-step how to set up your tank or enclosure for your baby hatchling snakes. You start off with a small tank like this one, a glass tank with a lockable lid. Or you can start with a tub, a 6-quart tub. Most of the time these would work for ball pythons, corn snakes, and so forth. For drier species, glass tanks work best for rosy boas, Kenyan sand boas, corn snakes, and so forth. Whereas for ball pythons, Dummer boas, and other species that requires a little bit more humidity, about 50% or more, tubs are better because they maintain humidity better. Number 2, substrate. None. Your only substrate would be paper towels because they are great for quarantine. For the first 2 to 3 weeks, paper towels is recommended so you can spot any mites that falls off your new snake. That way you can catch it, kill it, and not have it spread to your other snakes if you have any. So this is perfect for at least 2 to 3 weeks to catch any mites that come in with your snake, no matter where you got your snake from. It doesn't matter if you got it from the breeder, the pet shop, or even from your best friend. Always quarantine. And after that, that's up to you if you want to keep using paper towels. Some people do. Or you can just switch it out about a month later. Number 3, heat source. Heat source. This is a heat mat with the thermostat. The thermostat is sandwiched between the heat source and the tank. The reason for this being is that if the thermostat probe is out here, the snake could move it. And it is a strong possibility it can do that. It has all day to do that. If it does that, the temperature would be read wrong. If it's read wrong, your heat mat would start to overheat because it's not giving the proper information, and then your snake will burn. So put it in between the heat mat and the glass. Thermostat, a must. This is a cheap thermostat I use for quarantine only. It is very affordable. You can get it on Amazon for less than $40. Set up the temperature. Don't go buy this and not measure your temperature in here. Set it up, like for example, 88 degrees if you want about 85 in here. You set it up for 88, use your temp gun or thermometer, digital thermometer, and then you measure to make sure it's exactly what you want it in here. There's another thermostat that I highly recommend. It's more expensive. It's the Herbstat. So if you can afford it, get it. But at the beginning, for 2 to 3 weeks at least, a cheap thermostat, a reliable cheap thermostat would work. Number 4, hides. Add hides, identical hides on each side, and then just put a water bowl on top. Snakes like to hide. Baby snakes are nervous. If they're nervous, they won't eat. Let them hide. Let them feel secure. Small hides like these are perfect for ball pythons. You can get these for less than $1 at Home Depot. These are plant dishes. Cut a hole and you're ready to go. It hugs them from all sides and the top, and snakes love it. Baby snakes especially. It makes them feel secure. If they feel secure, they settle down quicker. They eat faster. When they eat enough times, then you can handle them. So don't handle them till they eat. That means they won't eat if they're stressed, because they don't feel secure. Hides. Very important. Again, after quarantine, once they start eating for you and growing, you can always switch out these hides for something nicer looking. And lastly, number 5, quarantine. Again, quarantine your snakes. 2 to 3 weeks for mites. Some would do longer. Some would go up as far as 6 months because there's also other diseases besides mites that are much more fatal that affects mostly boas and pythons. So you would put this tank, once it's all set up, you will put your tank and your snake somewhere away from your other snakes if you have any. Preferably a different building, but that's not reasonable. A different floor, a different room. Even if it's the same room, if you only have one room to use and you already have other snakes there, put it as far away as you can from the other snakes. Use its own supplies, meaning your cleaning, your hemostat for feeding is different than the one you use to feed your other snakes. Everything has to be sanitized. Clean this tank every week. Disinfect it. Just use some common sense and treat it as if your snake is sick until proven otherwise. If you make a mistake, it's fine, but just make sure it's quarantined, make sure everything is disinfected. Some people would quarantine for as long as 30 days, regardless of mites, which is usually what most people do. Others who have a bigger collection or have more to lose if something goes wrong, they would go up to 6 months, especially for boas, because symptoms don't show up for boas as fast as pythons. It's up to you. Do some research. Know what you're getting into. Know what the risks are. Put your tank somewhere away from your other snakes. Somewhere quiet, somewhere dark. Don't put it on the floor. Put it on a table, a desk, even a chair. Don't put it on the floor. Even the vibrations of your footsteps will scare your snake. You don't want it to be scared. You want it to settle down. If it's stressed out, it would also get sick. So you don't want that either. And that's that. If you have any questions, post in the comments and I'll do my best to help.